In this video I will be rating the bosses in Mina roughly in order. Starting with the Nether Kraken. Good game intro. Really gratifying to beat the Nether Kraken in the prologue. However, I wish there was a way to rematch if you don't beat it on the first try. It's very funny whenever a game demotes a boss to a regular enemy. It underscores a boss as being forgettable. Thorn is the rival character in Mina the Hollower. They are fast, they are agile, and most importantly, impossible as fuck to hit. Not a problem in the first encounter but will be later on. Midden, more like Shidden. Who would have thought that the creepy looking poop creature would also smell like shit? Blaming me for smelling like shit is insane when this is literally what you look like. Amusing boss, broken trinket, can't complain. The Duchess is way easier than I thought for a spark generator boss. I suppose it is acceptable considering it's meant to be the player's first spark generator boss, but it ends up being a bit too underwhelming. RIP the Duke. I think everyone agrees that Maxi is wasted potential. The game sort of introduces them as a pseudo-rival character but then just doesn't elaborate. I remember when this dude jumped me on my way back from the Queensbury Crypt. I think I was too drained to put up a good fight, but on the second try I realize they are just too fast to hit anyways. When the big fish came out and jumped the big croc, the thought never crossed my mind to just chase after him with the newly acquired fishing rod. I think I just assumed you need to earn your scales first and do 50 fishing quests for the angler before facing the Thalashan. When I did come back for this guy, it was already cooked. It's hard to make a cool aquatic horror, and unfortunately, the one in Shovel Knight was cooler. Nice jump scare at the end though. Mock Moon was one of the most memorable fights for me. Remember that the swamp zone is one of the longest. You encounter so much shit, somehow an animated planetary body is somehow the least surprising. For a sprite that is literally just a circle, Yacht Club really nailed the vibe and atmosphere, and the reward for beating it is one of the most tranquil rooms in the game. Art style. Nox's Beast is the other aquatic-themed horror in Mina the Hollower. It's halfway between being a Jaws type, under-the-water shadow threat, and a giant inflatable dinosaur. It is one of the largest arenas in the game but also the least safe ground due to the sheer volume of booby traps they create. I can't remember too much about it. I suppose that in itself says some things about the fight. I'm pretty sure Duggan is there for comic relief and to bring out two ultimately forgettable characters. Wonder Willis is your reward for carrying a frog across a swamp, one of the most annoying platforming segments of the game by the way. The worst part is if you're unprepared, it doesn't matter because talking to him will prompt him to throw you into the ring regardless. The fight is very strange because hitting him won't do damage as you're supposed to yeet him into the crowd instead, which took me an embarrassingly long amount of time for me to find out. The trinket reward is underwhelming but at least the fight is unique. I think I also have the same opinion as everyone else for the Madhouse. Very hard hitbox to judge and a very uncooperative camera. Other than that, good build up. I really thought I was entering a house to talk to some NPCs for a moment. The Carving Man is such a well constructed horror. Septemberg as a whole is such a cool zone. The fact that the game warns you about this creature's presence beforehand is barely scratching the surface. The folklore inspiration into triumphant reveal is something I've never seen a game do before. The only unfortunate thing about this fight for me was that it actually glitched in my playthrough. So sad, but nothing a new game plus run can't solve. Dark Deluxe reads like a fucking Final Fantasy boss name. In fact, the sprite for the boss looks like one too. This boss is your reward for completing a bullshit platforming section that goes along with it. It's dark and your Deluxia light source literally sabotages you. The biggest slap to the face is how they ask you to heal them after you win as if they weren't just spewing long-lasting dust particles at you for a minute straight. Second verse, same as the first. Boring. Major Minor, more like the most minor major boss. It's a bit too easy to be too powerful for it. While minors are thematically accurate for the Bone Beach area, I wonder if it was possible to make it more horrifying. Would you mind if I spoke about Mind? What a cool grotesque boss that works perfectly in the limited aesthetics of the old school 16-bit games. Reminds me of Metroid. The boss itself is more like a room of trap with nowhere safe. Really intense and challenging towards the end. As someone who didn't buy weapon upgrades, I was so shocked to know there was still another boss in O6 until I checked the feats. I was a bit too strong and didn't even realize that the gimmick was to expose him to lava and just chipped at him the old-fashioned way. Thorn's second encounter is really rough. If you are conservative with bones, like me, and bought your ticket early, you best hope you didn't accidentally choose Coltrane. I got introduced to a fight that I wasn't at an appropriate level for, as I had just completed Nox's Bayou. As if Thorn 1 wasn't already hard to hit, Thorn 2 takes it to the next level as it can literally fly. Plus a new moveset of fuck you moves. Good luck coming out this one with your bones intact. Frozen horror is a half-truth in the sense that it is frozen. This boss is just a funny little pinball machine with a last judge surprise at the very end. The creepy ghosts in this game are just cute little sprites, which is fine, but they feel really soft and harmless. This will be a theme with ghost bosses in this game. Locomotress Agnes only gets its difficulty from the fact that they can be impossible to hit at times. The arena itself can feel limiting because the devs decided that it needs to take place on a train. The final phase is kinda cool, but it should have been 2 proper phases like the Duchess. As a spark generator boss it could have been cooler. They didn't do the ghosts justice in the horror video game. Evra is the other boss that you can accidentally fight early. If you were vigilant with unlocking things that would help cross large gaps, then you could accidentally spend 30 minutes fighting this guy. Just like Thorn, I was too weak at the stage of the game. The boss itself is such a fair and fun challenge. I like the Mr. Skeleton vibes too. Classic ass horror trope. Illuminux is actually a Mario Party minigame where you play Plants vs Zombies to prevent the bad guy from eating your brain. Ooh, very spooky. The Congealed is such a horrifying creature and such an excellent revelation of how the Spark Towers are monstrosities. The fight is epic, spanning 3 entire phases with a fake out. Some of the attacks give me the heebie-jeebies. Fantastic overall. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark is such a funny way to call what we, the omniscient viewer, know is very obviously mutated Thorn. I was so unprepared for the game to throw such a surprise in an area the player assumes is safe. Should have known something was off when the soldiers started attacking. Damn, Fergus really got the discarded assistant of the main villain Astrope. But he still dick riding. That's crazy. This arena is a bit claustrophobic for the fight, but it's alright overall. If you didn't see this game's twist, IDK, what to say other than you're dumb. This fight was inevitable. While other games tend to sell their penultimate bosses, Yacht Club absolutely nails it. He's quick and he can steal your sparks, which is a truly terrifying thing to accept at first. The only curveball about this boss I would say is the fact that Lionel can block, which really messes with your flow because no other boss has really done that to this point. Lionel again, but he goes Super Saiyan is a triumphant finale. It makes use of the Spark Tower scaling that I think most people believe is one of the more janky parts of the game and turns it into an epic fight. Halfway through, Thorn comes and helps and the chaos just continues until either you win or the world ends. GG.